Hello, I'm Nostradamus, and this is Foreign Age News. I thought I'd start off by looking at Climate Reanalyzer and this area here, northeastern Russia, which has been cold for the last months. It's been colder than normal, but now the heat's moved in. All that's changed, so that permafrost is going to melt really, really quick. These are the high temperatures that were reached today, and you can see that practically the whole of the Arctic, apart from Greenland, got above zero, and India is sweltering. And the jet stream doesn't seem to know what it's doing. Now it's time for my methane report. I've been analysing data from the NOAA website, provided by the two METOP satellites, 16 sets of data, and I've been doing an average of these 16 figures each week to give a broad average of the amount of methane in the atmosphere. And this shows the change week by week. And since 3 weeks ago, it's gone on the rise. And what I've done is to smooth out any jumps in the data, I've done a 3-week average. So each figure is an average of the week before and the week after the week. So as you can see, it's been trundling along, and now it looks like it's on the way up. Right then, let's travel over to India, where it's been quite warm recently. This from phys.org. Heat stroke kills monkeys as India suffers in searing temperatures. A troop of monkeys died from suspected heat stroke in India. The scorching temperatures that have lasted more than a week take a mounting toll on humans and animals, media reports said yesterday. Vast swathes of the country have been sweltering in temperatures that have risen to over 50 degrees, 122 in Rajasthan state. The monkeys died in Joshibaba Forest Range in Madhya Pradesh state, where the thermometer reached 46 Celsius. The primates were believed to have fought with a rival troop over access to a water source. So, the water wars have started with the monkeys. This is rare and strange, as herbivores don't indulge in such conflicts, Mishra told NDTV Network. We're probing all possibilities, including the possibility of conflict between groups of monkeys for water, which led to the death of 15 monkeys from a 30 to 35 strong group of monkeys living in the caves, it was quoted as saying. An autopsy said heat stroke likely caused the deaths. Tigers have also been reported to be moving out of forest reserves into villages in search of water, causing alerts.
Emergency. Emergency. Emergency.
I tell you what, they're totally fucked if the monsoon fails. In Jharkhand state, a man stabbed 6 others after he was stopped from filling extra water barrels at a public tank. A man died of similar fight in Tamil Nadu state. The Indian Peninsula has seen drastic change in rainfall patterns over the past decade. Frequent droughts, floods and sudden storms. 26 dead from freak dust storms, rain and lightning on Thursday. Farmers across South Asia depend and rely on the 4-month monsoon season due to lack of alternative sources of irrigation. That's because they've used up all the groundwater. They're knackered. They're knackered. They've no water and it's 120 degrees. And the monkeys are dying of heat stroke, soon to be followed by countless people. Cause war, this. Pakistan. They'll fight over water, but there won't be nuclear war. I'll explain why at the end of my video. What else is happening in India? Any good news? What's this? Nipah virus. It's the worst disease no one has ever heard of. I'd never heard of it till I come across it. What's this all about? Nipah virus is suspected of killing at least 10 people in southwestern India, including a nurse caring for patients, according to officials. The little-known virus has never been seen in this part of India before, and that's got global health officials worried. It's one of the deadliest viruses known. It's the worst disease no one's ever heard of, said Dr. John Epstein, wildlife veterinarian and epidemiologist for the Eco Health Alliance. Nipah rarely infects people, but when it does, it can make them very, very sick. This is a virus that when it gets into people in Bangladesh, it kills them on average 3/4 of the time, and in some cases 100% of the time, he said. It causes encephalitis, a brain inflammation that is often fatal and can cause long-term disabilities in survivors. It can also infect some people without causing any symptoms at all. So they won't know they've got it and they can go around spreading it. Can remain in the body for months and years. Where did it come from? Carried by fruit bats. The bats don't bite people or even come into contact with people. The problem comes when people and livestock share fruits with bats. Nipah was first identified in Malaysia in 1999. It's named after a Malaysian village called Sungai Nipah, where pig farmers started developing encephalitis. The reason Nipah virus emerged in the first place was the pig farming system had gotten so large and industrialised. Many farmers also grew mango trees near the pig pens. It was an all-you-can-eat buffet for the bats. Bats would drop pieces of mango into the pens and the pigs would grab them. Some bits were infected with Nipah from the bat saliva. Nipah does not make bats sick, but the pigs got a severe respiratory infection that spread as one farmer sold pigs to another. Making a buffer between fruit trees and pig pens stopped the spread in Malaysia. Pig farmers caught the virus from their pigs. In Bangladesh and India, the source is different. There, people harvest date palm sap and sell it as a drink. It's a bit like sugarcane juice, very sweet. People aren't the only ones that like sweet drinks. Bats do too. And when people slash palm trees to make the sap run out, a little bit like harvesting maple syrup, the bats land on the trees and lick it up. Saliva, urine, or feces can all get into the sap that's collected, and when people drink it unheated, they die. It's not yet clear what's happening in Kerala, India. It's far from the area of West Bangladesh and bordering areas of India where other outbreaks of Nipah have been seen. There are reports of people eating dropped fruit contaminated with bat saliva could in theory transmit it to people. People can pass the virus to other people, but it requires fairly close personal contact. What if it changes? What if it mutates? 70 to 100% fatality. No vaccines. Oh, bugger. Fuck. Oh, fucking no. Isn't that fucking weird? Anyone that's been following my videos will know that I've been tracking earthquakes around the edge of the Siberian Craton in Russia. All the yellow ones are old ones from May, and I've highlighted all the recent ones this month in orange. As you can see, we've had 4.5 there on the 1st of June. And we had 3.6 there on Lake Baikal on the 5th. And we had another one, 5.1, also on the 5th. What I've also noticed is some large carbon monoxide emissions right on the edge of the craton. Over here, this spot, there's nothing to look at when you zoom in. So 3,384 parts per billion. That was on the 4th. And the other spot's quite interesting. Over here, and it was 4,268 parts per billion. This is carbon monoxide. And, I'd love to know what's going on here. Look at that. Some sort of installation. And this spreads out over really wide area. I don't know what they're doing here. Look at it. It extends for hundreds of miles to the south, to the north. They're dotted around everywhere. And, some quite interesting features. I mean, what's this? Some sort of wire grid over the landscape. So, very intriguing. And when I first looked at this, which when did I find it? Where are we? This was on the 6th, 3 or 4 days ago. And when I had my borders and labels on, and there's a town nearby called what's it called? I wrote it down. Called Sidorusk. Siporusk. Siporusk. But silly me forgot to put a place mark on it, and now I can't find it. And the funny thing is, so I wanted to show it because it had this funny thing with was like these two tall red towers across a dried up riverbed, like roads around it, and they looked really out of place, and I wondered what they was for. And now you try and Google Siparusk or type it in here, and place not found. It's like the town has totally disappeared, and I'm not lying to you. God's honest truth. The place has disappeared off the map. And can I find these towers? Can I bugger? And these, I don't know what's going on here. And the one thing this makes me think of is are they doing weather modification? I don't know. But Siparusk, the town that never was. I'm just. It's only 4 days ago. I'm so pissed off I didn't put a place mark on it. Oh well. That's that. Oh, hang on. Let's go to the beginning. What started all this off? Our place of huge sulfur dioxide emissions from spot near Norilsk. Oh, Norilsk's still there anyway. Right. So this is the place where they've had ongoing huge sulfur dioxide emissions, and this is from the 7th. As you can see, it was still throwing out in excess of 1,000 micrograms per cubic metre. So this has been going on for months. Let's get up to most recent. Now, just press now. It's still coming out. It's only registering 200 knot at the moment, but we've got a brisk wind. It blows it out quick, so it's. Go on to Worldview, and this is from the 5th, and this is. It looks like a Looks like a volcanic feature. Well, it's coming out of. And on the 7th, we had a heat anomaly or a fire next to it. And then it's been cloudy ever since. So, very strange indeed. Here's a quick look at the Arctic sea ice thinness. As you can see, I'm going to scroll down a little bit so you can see the table. There we go. It's got some holes developing, and all this warm Atlantic water is getting all the way up to the North Pole on the western side. So we can see all this going. It's getting attacked from this side and round and up through here. So probably in by end of month we'll only have this little bit left, and all the consequences that are going to come with it. All above zero, as I showed you before. That's the air. The air's above zero, and all the sea's above zero. Thinness. Should say thinness, not thickness. Good, this site, and check it out. What's up with that sea ice page? Got all your links, all your up-to-date information, all your links to the latest Navy info. Cracking. Now for some old news, of which I'd like to share my thoughts about.
My God, it's full of stars.
You may or may not have heard this story in the past about impossible cosmic rays spotted shooting out of Antarctic. Scientists have discovered cosmic rays coming out of Antarctica. So what's so unusual about that? Well, there's a scientific instrument on Antarctica called ANITA, the Antarctic Impulsive Transient Antenna, a NASA-sponsored long-duration balloon payload which has made a discovery no one ever anticipated. And it says it didn't discover ET or a top-secret Nazi base, but I'd like to differ. During the flight, scientists reported its instruments detected something that physicists couldn't explain. They detected cosmic rays coming not from space but inside the Earth, which is supposed to be impossible, because they're not supposed to be able to travel through the Earth. It describes most of the fundamental forces and classifies elementary particles. According to the standard models of physics, it shouldn't be possible. So the measurements, the findings change everything we thought we knew about the universe. So what did Anita see while floating? The detected particles come in at extreme angles, 27 and 35 degrees, from the Earth, something that shouldn't be possible. So this means two things. Either the scientific model, I think that means, needs a significant revision, Or, as Professor Fox and his colleagues suggested, Anita may observe the first evidence of a supersymmetric particle. Well, that's a lot of bollocks. If you want to know what I think there's an alien base below the ice in Antarctica. And it is the power source. They've got a nuclear power source which powers all the ships and everything, which is giving off the radiation. And that would explain these impossible cosmic rays. It is my belief that we are visited every 5,000 years by a robotic race sent here from an advanced civilization from a small planet in the Gamma Cephei system, some 45 light years away. Gamma Cephei is a binary star system in the constellation of Cepheus. The stars are believed to be about 3.25 billion years old. The system bore a traditional name variously spelled as Eri, Uri, or Alri, deriving from the Arabic, meaning the shepherd. And is the ancient Semitic name a modern Arabic name for the city of Palmyra. Palmyra is believed to be 5,000 years old. The Sphinx is regarded to be 5,000 years old. Stonehenge, the recent configuration of stones believed to have been started building at 5,000 years old, 5,000 years ago, and they found evidence of an earlier wooden circle in the car park at Salisbury, which dates back to 10,000 years ago. And there are other places on the planet with human civilization where stuff happened 5 or 10,000 years ago. I believe the human race is being farmed by an extraterrestrial beings. They have nudged and controlled us in the past to get to the point where we are now, just as they are returning. Our whole civilization is part of their plan for this planet to produce a nice fat 7.7 billion herd of sheep. So now, as the planet collapses, as maximum human biomass is reached, the shepherds are about to harvest their flock. They only need to travel at 2% light speed to achieve the round trip every 5,000 years. No doubt, they will download the whole internet too. All of YouTube and every TV show ever made for their entertainment. Such an advanced race must be bored shitless, although I would advise them not to watch Love Island. This is why nuclear war won't happen. They won't allow it, as their harvest would be decimated. So at that point of the big red button being pressed, the rapture will begin. All religions of the world are based on previous visitations from highly advanced predatory species, intent on getting the most out of the human race. Let's face it, left to our own devices, we would, as a species, probably do the same to another life form in distant space in the future, in much the same way we treat our farm animals. This is how the shepherds view us, I believe, as pigs, as chickens, as sheep. Oh, they'll leave a few lucky ones behind and clean up our mess, wiping out much of our technology so we can rebuild our civilization, ready for when they come again 5,000 years from now. With that, I'm say goodbye. Thanks for watching. The shepherds are coming. The shepherds are here.